All right, guys, happy Friday. Made it through another week. We are discussing what is preventing you from selling your work right now. What is the number one thing you are struggling with? I'm going to bring Nick into the broadcast and we are taking open questions. What are you struggling with? What's preventing you from selling your art right now? I want to hear it in the questions or in the comments, rather. And we'd love to see if we can't get you unstuck, if we can't get you on the path to selling immediately. So, Nick, I said, it's basically open season, open questions Friday. What are they struggling with currently to sell their art, and quite frankly, how can we help them? One of the things that we've been doing as a business for quite some time is what we call office hours, in which case we get our customers all in a Zoom, and they all get to ask questions. And we try to solve these problems as a group, throw in what we know is longtime art marketers and entrepreneurs, and basically get you guys unstuck and on the path. So it's a fantastic way to be able to do it on Instagram. It's a fantastic way to be able to do it on a Friday. And let's go. So, Nick, you ready to go?
Let's do it.
We got art marketing tips. Aren't you happy with our new graphic?
Oh, there you go. I like it.
Yeah, we're working on some new ones and getting going on Instagram. So you guys can leave a comment on Instagram and we'll answer them. You can leave comments on YouTube. You can leave comments on Facebook. And we just want to do it all. Look at this. I'll start a Friday off with this. 2 years in, just sold my most high-priced painting. Way to go.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Happy Friday.
We love that. One of the things that we were discussing internally, and we track our year-over-year sales, right, as like a way to benchmark, so we can go back and look at last year. And last week we saw 68% growth year over year. Nick, I don't know if I shared that with you yet, but that's really just tremendous. That's a tremendous level of growth. And I bring it up under the context that, like, art is still selling. We are in a very weird, tumultuous economic time, wars, election coming up, but art is still selling. And you know what? That encouragement is damn important.
Things are still selling. And, it's like, as we talked about the other day, it's like stock market's at all-time highs. I mean, you see these other people talking about, like, with crypto, you know what I mean? Like when crypto and the meme coins, these other coins, if you're not familiar with it, are like going crazy, which they are. People are sitting here going, there's still a lot of money out there. There's still a lot of money sloshing around this economy. And it's like, you see it. And I don't know if you saw, like, the jobs report yesterday. There's these things get fudged in their own ways, right? But like, but like the jobs report was like, the jobs are there. There's no like big layoffs or anything that happens. And then the government is spending 120% of GDP every year. So that's just massive stimulus that's not stopping, Yeah. And so a lot of experts are just talking about how, like, it's really hard to have a recession and to have things really break down when you're putting that much money into the economy every year, And so not like that's a perfect explanation for what's going on, but like, we see all of the data, right? We have like 14,000 members at Art Storefronts now. And just as you said, we get to see if the art is selling where it is. And it's like record February, like who would have thought it? But it's just happening. It's just the truth, So really, really exciting going into spring. And obviously, you guys will hear us talk about this all the time. And it's like almost every day going in here, but the spring art selling season is huge. It's one of the biggest times of year outside of Q4, right? October, November, and December, the fourth quarter of the year. You got Easter coming up. The marketing for Easter should begin in the next like week or so. You got Mother's Day, which is a huge one, and you got Father's Day. So like, and there's a bunch of other ones sprinkled in there, but the spring art selling season is right here, and it's right around the corner. So it's a perfect time to get your marketing in order, a perfect time to like get and take advantage of this season, that's the number one thing for every artist listening to this to focus on. It's like, don't blow the spring art selling season. Don't blow it. You heard it. It's here. It's right around the corner. You've got the opportunity to take advantage of it.
Yep, got to be ready to go. And Jennifer Linders is like,
you can't miss these and have a good year,
No, you cannot. And Jennifer Linders is like, I am not good with marketing and computer stuff. Don't worry. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to learn. You know, it's like anything else. You gotta get better at it, right? Antoine Doherty and I, you know, I've seen some other comments like this, right? Where, and first of all, Antoinette, I should say, it's really hard to read the names when they're all like truncated together in these giant stacks. Anyway, so I apologize, Antoinette. You know, getting good at the lives and like understanding what to say during the lives is 100% an art form. And the problem with the lives is nobody is doing them except us. I'm telling you, like we follow something like 2,000 people on Instagram. I follow like 5,000 on my personal account. I almost don't ever see anyone doing them, which is why it represents such an incredible opportunity. But I want to show one quick piece of tradecraft that I think everyone needs to understand, because another thing that like we get all the time is I'm struggling with what I'm posting, what I should be posting. Like I don't, you know, I'm struggling for ideas. Like what should I talk about? What should I do? And a genius hack that I think most people are not aware of in their Instagram browsing experience is this format of bookmarks, right? And this is perfect. Here's Kelly Corbett. She's a fantastic customer. She does great marketing, by the way. She's a great follow. I don't know if you've seen her, Nick, but she has her own gallery. Notwithstanding how talented she is as a painter, but anyway,
really good painter.
Guys, when you are casually browsing, when you're just switched off, enjoying some personal Instagram time, or when the distractions get you and you're browsing, one of the things that I love to do is just bookmark posts. Okay. And what is so genius about bookmarking the posts is you can bookmark them and then you can put them into folders, right? You can see we've got best, good lives, respond, landscapes, artist to DM. I don't even know what some of these are. But on my personal collection, you know, like I will go browsing through Instagram and on my own personal stuff, and I like cooking. I'll put the cooking stuff in a folder. And if I see a creative reel, I'm like creative reel, and I might send it to my team. The point is, there are these times when you don't want to be working, you don't want to be doing anything, but you're on Instagram and you're consuming content. And what you want to do is like, oh my gosh, that was an incredible piece of content. Okay. You're like, this is great. Oh my gosh, I need to do this. Like, this is something that I could totally copy. Boom, bookmark it, throw it in a folder. And then you can come back to these at any point in time and go, and what I find in my own personal practice is that I'll do this. Okay. And, you know, your mindset when you're just consuming the content and not trying to be a marketer is just what's entertaining me, what's interesting. And so I'll bookmark a bunch of these things, Nick, and then I'll forget about them. And then I'll be like, what should we do? You know, the team will meet and I'm like, what are we going to do for content? And then I'll go into that folder and it's like the creative sandbox just hit me like boom, 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 boom. So it's a very, very effective way to do it. Consume content. Okay. Consume content. And what I want you to do though, is not all artists. Okay. Not all artists. Go and look at some stuff that is outside of art. Go and see what some creative people are doing that are not artists and photographers, because I find that is how you get just the absolute best ideas on what to do next, right? On what direction I should go in. So that's what I would say. Shade Nancy's, how do I get my work to you? I'm on Instagram for you to see, choose what. The best thing to do, Nancy, is just request a demo on our site, and then somebody will contact you, follow up, and then they'll schedule a call to look at your work individually, kind of give you some feedback on it, see some potential directions you can go in. Trying to just send it to us, it'll just get lost in the shuffle. So that's not the best way to go about it. Okay, someone's asking the all too ever-present question these days: what are your views about AI in the art marketplace? The new hot button controversial topic and subject. And one of our longtime killer members, shout out to Mark Hirsch, love him.
Shout out Mark.
In office hours, which is our internal sessions yesterday, for those that don't know. And it's so new, it's so nascent, it's moving so quickly that everyone is just trying to figure out what their position on AI is. Okay. And is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it going to help artists? Is it going to hurt artists? And I think broadly, it is, you can approach it with a scarcity or an abundance mindset. And the abundance mindset is that these tools are going to help me be a better artist, are going to help me market more effectively, are going to speed up the amount of time it takes me to do things, and therefore help me grow my business. Or with the scarcity mindset, in which case, doom and gloom, this is going to hurt me. This is going to be the end of the world. I think...
Which it's not.
Yeah, which is not. I think the abundance mindset always wins. And Nick and I really early in our careers were in this exact same place. And what happened is China emerging as this giant manufacturing hub, and they figured out, oh my gosh, art is a top selling entity, and they somehow trained armies of artists that could paint, and they put them all in a warehouse, and these factories would literally be churning out originals, all looking the same, but originals, right? 50, 100, 200 of them at a time, and like near perfect. These were like perfectly trained artists. And you know what? It didn't do a damn thing.
Didn't do a damn thing.
Didn't do a damn thing.
And I've seen it, you guys. I've been in the art industry for 25 years. I saw one with my own eyes. Okay, it was quite an experience. Okay, there was literally a warehouse with rows of, I want to say like 20 easels. Just imagine 20 easels in a row, like desks in a classroom. That's exactly what it looked like. 20 easels across, and then like probably, I don't know, 20 back, right? So there was like several hundred artists just sitting there painting and copying and replicating like artists that are actually selling really well. And this was in the late 90s, early 2000s. Okay.
Yeah.
So the point is here is cheap art and copies have been around forever, and people, and it's still going on and all that. And people were up in arms in the late 90s and early 2000s, because that's when China was really like starting to get product, into the country.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, oh my gosh, this is going to ruin the industry. Every painter was flipping out, art is
the same doom and gloom hype cycle that's going on right now. Like,
that's exactly right.
Now people are terrified.
Now, what you don't see as much is you don't see the painters, especially the more experienced painters that have been around for a while, like harping on it as much, right? Because they know what I'm talking about. They've already been through this. It's like getting a copy, like any artist can get copied by an artist in China or India or all over the world. Okay. Yeah. And they're all there and they're doing it. Right. And they can be sold for pennies on the dollar and undercut you. And like, that's all been possible and has been happening for a long time. Right. But here's the thing. They never have been able to compete with the other artists. It's been a big nothing burger this whole time. Okay. Yep. So like, so just imagine a guy can copy a Weiland. Weiland is a painter that we talk about often, right? He sells his stuff for thousands of dollars, right? His originals are 10,000 plus. His prints are thousands of dollars each. He could easily be copied by a talented painter in China. These are really, really talented people. They can paint anything. They can copy anything verbatim. They literally copy like Starry Night and all these different things verbatim. You know what I mean?
It looks amazing.
Yeah, to like the finest detail. So they can copy a Weiland, but it's not a Weiland. It's not a Weiland, right? Yeah. It's a copy and it's cheap and nobody wants that, Like, I'm not saying that some of these don't sell, no different than like fake Rolexes sell, and people wear fake watches and fake purses and stuff like that. But generally speaking, they're hiding the fact, they're trying to hide the fact that they actually want the expensive thing, and that's the image that comes across. And so the fact that never did anything tells me that with AI art, it's going to fall into the same bucket, right? Because the photographers are now seeing like, oh my gosh, I can get copied. And no photographer should even be worried about it, because it's like, it doesn't matter if you can get copied. Copying art has been around for a long time. And having these guys come in and be the cheap guy is not going to do anything to your business, because nobody really wants that, Yeah. And that's been proven for, over the last 25 years. It's just been absolutely proven. And then so then you say, if you take it one step further, you say, okay, well, what if he sells at the same price that I do? Okay, who wants to buy AI art that the artist didn't even need to work on? They didn't even do anything. They just prompted a computer, and then they're going to pay the same price as a photographer who went out and, did the work and has some artistry in it. There's no way. It's the same thing as the painters that are copying. Right? It's just a little slightly different, but it's just a cheap way of getting something done and then trying to market and compete as like an artist brand. And it's just, so it falls into that same bucket for me. And I think that AI art is generally going to be perceived as cheap and easy and with no value to it. And I think nobody has anything to worry about. I have thought about this. I've been in this industry for a long time. I've seen these things happen and these trends. And I look at it and I'm like, what is the AI person going to do? They're going to copy, try to copy you, and then they've got to go out and try to sell it. What are they going to do? Are they trying to sell it like you and say that, they might lie and say they created it? Well, there's an ethical issue there, and I think there's going to be tools that can tell you if the art was created by AI, because Google, just 2 days ago, had a huge update, a huge search engine optimization update. I don't know if you guys heard about this or saw this.
This is so telling. Wait till you guys all hear this.
Yeah, this is a really big deal. So anybody who wrote articles on their website or blog and used AI and tried to do that to create more content to try to get their website ranked higher in the search engines. Well, Google did an update that basically found everybody that's done that and penalized them and remove them from the rankings and remove those articles and all that stuff. So they know if you're using AI. So everybody's going to basically know if you used AI to create your art,
Yep.
And eventually it's going to be obvious, and people are not going to want to pay for it because it's just going to be a cheap thing, right? It's a copy. There's not artistry or work in it. And so I think that it's a big nothing burger and nobody has really anything to worry about. And I think all of you guys should just not take the distraction and focus on doing one foot in front of the other, doing what you do, doing your marketing, building your brand, getting your product out there as you would anyway, just like every painter had to do for the last 25 years when anybody could copy them, and keep calm and carry on.
Exactly right. It's all a distraction. And one of the lines that I use all the time, which, I continue to learn again and again and again through what I see with our customers, is art sales are 50-50. Everyone thinks they're 100%. What do I mean by that? Everyone thinks art sales are 100% about the art. They're not. Art sales are 50-50. It is 50% the quality of the art, and then it is 50% the brand of the artist, who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you interesting. And there's other people saying, well, I'm using AI to help generate my art. Great. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all how you generate the art. 50% the art, come up with it however you do, and then 50% who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you interesting, what I might have common in you, why I find you interesting. And
that's such an important point, because that's where the perceived value of the art is. Why can Weiland charge $10,000, $20,000 for his originals?
Gray Malin. How many photos are there?
Or Jonah Allen, or Meg Knappenberger, these ones on our platform. It's the same thing. It's like your price, you're going to be able to raise your price, you guys, not because the quality of your art piece, your subject matter is different or change. It's going to be because the perceived value of you, that one part of that 50%, has grown, and you're able to command a higher price. Your art hasn't changed, but you're able to command a higher price. That's all going to come from branding, from positioning and just, marketing your art business the right way and getting out there so that you actually have demand.
Yep. For everybody that's watching, we are answering your questions live. Love to just help you out. Have an open and frank Friday. We made it through a week. Art marketing discussion.
There's a great question on here I'd love to address. It's about religious artwork. There's a question.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That was the next one. So let me just read it out and then we'll see it. Is religious artwork more difficult to sell on your personal experiences with other artists?
No, it is. If anything, it is the opposite. Okay.
Epic niche.
Let's talk about this. You guys. So this is really important because we talk about, almost every artist, especially when they start out, they're guessing their subject matter. All you guys probably did it. You're like, okay, I'm going to launch my website and I'm going to go with waterfalls and beaches and cows or something, right? Or you have one. Maybe you just have one subject matter. Maybe you have two, maybe you have three, but you launch with something. It's all a guess, unless you've been selling a lot of art before and you've been doing it at shows or in person. And that you've validated that a subject matter is going to be highly marketable and is going to sell. You've basically guessed. You've taken your talent and you've guessed at what niche might actually build a good business for you. And you're in a test mode. You're experimenting with it. All right. And so, the key behind this though, is you've got your talent and you're making a selection about subject matter. All right. Usually and normally the sales potential of a subject matter is going to be dependent upon how many people are in that audience that resonate with that subject matter. So when you start backing up from that, okay, you could say your local area, your city, There's probably people in your city that love the city and love the town, love the county, whatever it is. And there's iconic locations. So your market size is going to be the people who actually resonate with that city, town, or area, right? But that's only one little city, town, or area. Okay. You back up even further, you might even say like a sports team, is it like, or a college, right? You've got even more people that went to that college for the last 50, 100 years, depending on how long that college has been there, and nobody needs to debate about this. Look how many people go to these college football games and basketball games, Pat, and are watching them on TV, multi-billion-dollar business. So when you get into like a college brand, like a specific college, then you're getting even bigger. When you get into religion, something like Christianity, you know what I mean? You're now talking about billions of people globally. Okay. So you're talking about a very, very big market size. And you can create content that people will resonate with. We've seen it many, many, many of times. I could give too many examples of people either painting a Santa Claus and selling it on the spot as an original and with pillows and everything around Christmas time, to one of the best abstract sellers, I should say, that I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Whose artwork, it's, by the way, he's a digital artist and whose artwork has no religious context to it. There's no way you would look at any of his abstracts and say that is a religious piece, but every piece is named a Bible quote with the quote on it. You know what I mean? Or like the Bible, what do you call it?
Verse.
The verse, exactly. It's a Bible verse with that. And he creates his art based on the inspiration of that Bible verse, that specific Bible verse. Sells like crazy, right? So it's the abstract with the association with the religious context that's creating very, very high marketability. And it has, most important point, when you look at it visually, it has nothing to do with it. So he's utilizing how big of a market the religious market is, and he's riding behind that, or as we like to say, he's water skiing behind it, not trying to create a market on his own, not trying to go out in thin air, but actually going, I know there's billions of people who resonate with this. I'm going to create art for that. That's the way you want to be thinking about it.
Yeah. Massive, massive audience built into that niche. Although, I'm almost ready to make an argument sometimes that your niche doesn't even matter, because one of the things that's crazy, this is year number 10. I think we've been in business here at Art Storefronts, and so many of you guys have signed up, and despite the fact we should never do this, it's impossible. We're human beings. We do this. We look at the art and we're like, oh my gosh, this person is going to absolutely kill it. It's going to be out of control like nothing I've ever seen. And then sometimes it's crickets. And then sometimes art that we didn't even think would ever sell gets like the highest level of sales, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. And what we find is, like, a lot of times just the charisma and the creativity of the artist, and the fact that they found a niche that didn't even know it existed. So I could see myself swinging a little bit and being a little bit more contrarian on the niche question. The artist Al asked, how do you make prints out of your paintings? You get them photographed. Okay. And once they get photographed, it's very, very easy to do. The key is in hiring someone to come to your house and set up a quick lighting setup in your garage that knows how to shoot art in your living room, wherever it is, if you're in an apartment, and get them all photographed. We recommend our customers hire on Craigslist to do this. It is extremely, extremely easy. So don't stress about that. We have an
article on this. Can we send it or post it in the comments?
We don't have, they can't click links on Instagram, so we don't have it that way, but you can certainly search our blog if you're so inclined. But who else, guys, who's got questions on this wonderful Friday?
Is Juan around, by the way, on our team?
Yeah.
Is he with us? Juan, I think we stitched up one of those DMs. If people drop a comment for that, if I'm not mistaken, let us know, because we could get everybody this article right now. I'm looking it up on Google.
Yeah, do that. And then while you're doing that, I've got an Instagram question, which is, as far as consistency standpoint, what is the minimum and maximum amount of posts per week on Instagram? It's a great question. And the number one thing, Johnny, that you said, which I love, is the C word, which is consistency. Okay. This is one of, like, the hallmarks of what we teach our customers, what I advocate all the time, what I live, okay, what my content marketing team lives, like modeling this behavior, including advocating for my customers. And so the answer to your question, Johnny, has a couple of layers. The first layer is just this. It doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter at all as long as you stay consistent for years, okay? So Johnny, if you can only do a post a day, if you can only do a post a week, do that for 52 weeks, right? And that's less about a number and more about a mindset, okay? And more about a mindset. And the mindset is that you are not going to quit. You are going to stay at this consistently. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but the only thing that matters is that you stay consistent. I would go as far to say the definition of an artist or a photographer as a hobbyist is someone that is not consistent, because all artists and photographers treat their marketing like a New Year's resolution, right? And what do? This is January. This is awesome. I'm ready to go. New year, new me. I'm going to go to the gym 4 days a week. They sign up for the gym. They go in 4 days a week. It's going great. March rolls around and they haven't been once all month. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So it's just consistency.
Yeah.
Then you realize the most important thing that you can do on Instagram is post as much as you can, level yourself up, and continue to learn. Okay, continue to learn. I go as far to say the number one metric that matters on Instagram is number of posts per week. Like, you can't post enough, right? And I don't do that just numerically speaking, like there's some sort of magic number. I do that to say we are living in a world where artists and photographers can reach people on these 24 hours a day. Never in history has this been the case. You guys just take a second today as you're walking around in your daily life and look at how many people are on their phones all the time. You have the ability to reach any of those people at any point in time. And so any time, energy, and effort that you invest in learning how to storytell in this capacity is going to pay dividends for your career. So I love shooting for a high number, but most importantly, Johnny, it is consistency. Okay, it is consistency. Okay, let
me share my screen really quick.
Okay. You have to add it to this. Yep, good.
Can you see it?
Yeah, go ahead, add it to the stage.
Okay, so if you hold
on, I'm going to add it to the stage. Shoot. All right, go.
Okay. For those of you looking to get your artwork photographed, so that you can have it ready for prints and have it digitally, go to Google. This is what I just did here: how to photograph artwork, art storefronts, and then you're going to see our article right here: how to photograph your own artwork for reproduction. One of our members actually collaborated with us to write this, and he does this professionally. Okay, he photographs artwork professionally. And so
he used to be the guy at Sotheby's.
What's that?
He used to be the guy at Sotheby's.
Yeah. And so there's some great links in here to light kits and things like that, because you can do it yourself. You can actually do it yourself. And we link to different lighting kits that are cheap, that are on Amazon, that you can actually buy. And all of that is in here. So we kind of go through the different options and go through it. So it's a really great article if you're at that stage. Like, look, we even show you, like, if you're going to use a phone, you can use a phone and do it. I mean, we'd recommend something better, but if you're just starting out and you don't have a big budget, you may want to just do that. And, and it's good enough, and you can launch your business and you can get going. Nothing's going to stop you. So really good article right here. If you guys want to grab that, just do what I said here and go to Google and type in how to photograph artwork, art storefronts, and then you'll see our article come up.
Boom. How cool are the screen shares in here? It's just so awesome. All right. Yeah. So Ellie, quick question. So I've convinced Ellie, she's a member, to use my garage sale tactic, right? Everyone's like, well, how do I get my art in front of eyeballs? How can I see whether or not it can sell? And normally my advice is, like, the quickest way, and it's far quicker than anything in the digital capacity. It just is. We try to overcomplicate things all the time, right? Like, oh, I've got to do something on Instagram. I've got to do something on Facebook and show it that way, or get an email list. No, you don't. No, you absolutely don't. You can sign up for a farmer's market, an art fair, a craft fair, any of those, get a table and do it. But you know what else you can do? You want to get real guerrilla, okay, which we love, is you have a garage sale and you put all your art in it. That's it. And one Saturday, you're going to have tons of conversations, okay? You're going to have tons of conversations where people are interested in the art, and you're going to get feedback. We'll see whether or not they purchase. Are they interested? Are they making offers? And right away, right? So it's just a great way to do it. So Ellie's contemplating doing it. Ellie, I think you should do garage sale, because garage sale is just going to get more heads in there, but you can try an art sale too. I mean, one of the stories that I tell all the time, Nick, is that I have my Monday through Friday coffee shop, okay, and I have my weekend coffee shop, right? Because my kids love the cinnamon rolls at this place. Shout out Stacey Bone, we love you. Now, every time I drive down to this coffee shop, there is an artist who lives on this main thoroughfare, okay, in my town, and he goes and puts like 9 easels out on his driveway and just puts all his work out there, and he just sits in his garage. Genius.
Yeah.
Genius. Everybody walking the dog by. Everyone's seeing it. Sometimes they
Yep.
stop. I need to stop and ask them how it's going. But what an incredible way to go about that and a way to contemplate that.
You know, another thing down there on Balboa Island in California, right? My close by where you are, you walk around the boardwalk and you will almost always see a painter there that's painting in real time and has some pieces.
Yeah, the
so it's like you're kind of getting away with like, nobody's going to stop you from doing that, you know? Like a photographer could be at the same exact spot with the tripod and the whole thing, taking photographs, and has some pieces laying, you know, against the seawall right there for sale, you know, and collecting emails, getting leads, creating conversations and getting feedback on their art. And these are things that people can do literally today, this weekend. You know, you can go out to a local area where there's actually foot traffic. And if you set up like a table where you're just overtly selling to people, they might actually say like, hey, do you have, are you allowed to be here or something like that? But if you actually are just being an artist and you're painting, or you're shooting something, you're going to get people very interested and looking, and nobody's going to probably bother you at all, And these opportunities are there every single day. You guys can try it, and you can make a sale potentially this weekend.
100% you can. Al Moretti,
totally overlooked, by the way, totally overlooked strategy, and this goes to another question that we have on here, which is how do you build value, monetary value, to your work, digital? This person's asking about digital work, but I'm going to speak about this generally. How do you build value in your work to sell it for hundreds or thousands of dollars? Okay. And so this goes back to the point on AI, like we were talking about, it's very similar. So my answer to this question is the best way to build value in your work is through marketing. Okay. And bringing people into your process. If I see how you paint it, how you go about your process of creating an original piece of artwork, or how you go about a photo shoot and the strategy in it, and you're waking up early in the morning and the grind that you're putting it's like you're showing the work, the hours that you're putting into it, the thought, the artistry, all of that takes the value all the way up. Okay. If you're just posting your image, okay, of your artwork, you're going to probably command the lowest prices, and no one's going to understand because they don't have any concept of what you put into it or what thought or there's nothing to connect with. And so this is why that, like we talk about with art businesses, like with all of you guys doing this out of your houses, we're like, you got to market yourself. Marketing's your number one problem. You got to get eyeballs on your art and all of that. Yes, that is all true. You got to do that. But you guys also have to understand that why we're also saying this is because the ability to market directly to your customers with social media is one of the most unbelievable things and amazing advancements for every artist and for the art industry. Because in the old days, you could not do this. And this was a big problem, like a contributor to the starving artist problem. Yes, you could sell your work in a gallery or any of that stuff. Obviously, that's like less than 1% of artists are able to do that. But you never got to like interact directly with your customers anyway, and get them and bring them into your process and bring them into your life. You just had to set the price and hope that they thought that there was value in it, But now you can actually do this directly on social media. You can show what you're doing. You can build all that value in it. And the consumer, there's no middleman in between you guys. And so on one hand, you got to do marketing, period, because it's the number one problem of every artist that is watching this right now. You have a marketing problem. You don't have a website problem. You don't have a this or that problem. You have a marketing problem. You got to get people to see your art, and you got to get more of them to see your art, which means you got to be audience building, and then you got to be posting content, sending emails to get your stuff out in front of these people, you know? But on the other side of that is exactly what I'm talking about here, where you've got the opportunity to build value and create fans based on, you know, how you are doing and the real work and hours and toil that you're putting into creating a piece of art.
Yep. And we got a question a little while back. Who was this? There's two that I want to deal with. Oh yeah, Lance, like, what was the company mentioned a few meetings back? When do we send large canvases to be scanned? You do not send large canvases to be scanned. Total waste of money, total waste of time. These new digital cameras are so insane. The camera is much easier to bring to you, Land, than it is to take the giant work, load it in the car or the truck or a U-Haul or whatever, and take it to get scanned. You don't need to do that. There's no company that you need to use. You have a photographer come to your house. They can knock it out. It's very, very easy to do that. Further up here, can a motion version of a static artwork help catch attention? The answer is yes. Just ship it, right? Just ship it and give it a shot and see how it goes, right? Like, you know, I think one of the things, and this happens to all of us early on, is we tend to overthink, like, ooh, will this work? Ooh, is this a good idea? No. Just do it. Just do it. It's straight up Nike, right? Just absolutely go for it. It's so important. Yeah, film and oil.
And I think these like when we get pointed questions like that, still a good question. You know, you guys, we want you guys asking your questions, but you know, the more important point is when you ask a detailed question like that is understand like that really means nothing if you are not marketing all the time, right? Like make sure you're focused on the right problem. It's not like, should I have a static image of my art or should I have a motion image of my art? It's like, honestly, are you marketing every day? Are you like posting on social media? You know, are you emailing? Are you building? Because if you're not doing that, that's what you need to be focused on, not whether you post one thing one way or the other way, because the incrementality of it, like the difference between one post one way and another is not going to do anything, you know, material for your business, right?
No.
The thing that's going to be material for your business is committing to being like, wait a minute, I need to be marketing way more than I am. You know, it's volume, it's marketing volume. And if you follow people like Gray Malin, you know, one of the best-selling photographers out there, you'll see what we're talking about. They're emailing almost every day, you know? Now that doesn't mean you have earned the right to do that. And you want to be necessarily emailing every day. But if you get on these and you follow these people, you're going to see that they are selling all around the biggest holidays, the biggest art selling holidays. They're going to be cranking for all of the spring selling season that is right up upon us here that you have to take advantage of, you know, and you'll start understanding that like, wow, a business needs to market itself. I am not marketing my business very much. That must be my biggest problem. And it is.
Yep.
Always is.
Do you have a hard stop?
Yeah, I've got to jump. So I'll leave you guys to it.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Thanks guys. Good to see you.
I'm still answering. So if you guys are asking, awesome. And I love what Film and Oil said here. You know, local libraries and social clubs are great venues for exhibitions. Like anytime, this is not going away. Okay. And I'm just going to be totally honest with all of you guys. The brutal truth. The best way to sell art or photography is in person. That will never, ever end. Okay. Number one. Number two, like I'm continually blown away, like completely blown away when I experience my customers' artwork in person. It is so much more compelling and incredible. And you need to tell yourself that and be aware of that, because what most of us try to do is just do the digital thing and hide from it. Don't hide from the fact that the best way to sell art and photography is in person, face to face. That is a critically important thing. And that's okay to be honest with that. Do you know what the next best way to do it? Oh, well, where I was going with that is, so always be cultivating opportunities when you can sell in person and when you can show the work in person. Okay, great. But we're all geographically fixed on this earth. So none of us are going to be able to take it to level 11. Okay. So for the rest of those times in between, do you know what's the next best? Video. I have a piece, right? I had a piece. Let me see what my kids did with it. Give me 1 second. I want to grab it. So this thing is from my cousin. It's not actually my cousin, but he has the same last name, and I call him my cousin. And he's a customer, mega talented photographer. But look at how good this looks. Okay, this is the next best way to sell art, and I'm doing it right now on video when you can show it off like this. So I got this photo of Eddie Van Halen at such and such, and it's a little hard to do with this camera, right? Which is why I love having like the really small pieces to be able to show on video, right? And articulate just how beautiful the work is, to zoom in on it and show the detail of Positano here in this case. So understand that video is the next best way, but all of you guys should be cultivating any experience that you can get that's in person, face to face. It's just so valuable. You get the feedback so much quicker, right? So much quicker. Okay. I'm starting out as a dog photographer. Great niche, amazing niche. People will spend more money on their pets than anyone could ever possibly conceive. I mean, I'm telling you right now, out of control how much money people will spend on their pets. So it's a great niche. You don't have any inventory yet, a very small budget. What is the best thing to do to start marketing? So I am a guerrilla marketer by nature, and I always have been. Okay. I would, depends on how bad you want to take this. I would, if you were a nice person, okay, I would go to Vistaprint, Mr. Paw Portrait Studio. I would go to Vistaprint and I would order business cards, right? I would order business cards. I have a business card here from my local meat proprietor at my farmer's market. I would order business cards this size. You can, for like $75, or I don't even know if it's $75. Maybe it's like 1,000 of them for $50. And then I would buy some Scotch tape, and then I would hit every dog trail, every dog park, every dog walking area, and I would affix these cards, okay, that let people know you're a dog photographer, you're ready to photograph, you want a photo of your dog, and I would affix them to every poop bag dispenser I know of in my local area. And I would do it on a regular basis. Yes, they're going to get taken down, but a lot of them are going to be grabbed as well, right? So that's $50 at Vistaprint. Juan, will you look up Vistaprint business card order and then just throw it in the chat and tell me what it is? Or if you can come in via audio, tell me that way. For $50-$60, okay, and you using a little shoe leather to going around to all these dog parks, and a couple times a day even, all you do is you grab the business card, you let people know that you have this service, and you put it right on the poop bag dispenser. Done deal. Game over. You could stick it on signs too. That's the respectable way to do it. If you're an absolute criminal like I was, go ahead, Juan. How much?
100 business cards for starting at $17. Yep.
$17. What is 1,000?
I'll double check.
Yeah. So, the business card way you could do it. If you're a bit of a criminal, like I was and allegedly was in my youth, go ahead. Come on.
No. Just okay, still looking.
Yeah. So, as I was in my earlier days, allegedly, you could do stickers and stick the stickers on, but then someone from the city is going to have to take those out, which is not super fun. So that's what I would say. iIgnite are the lives recorded for us to share. Yeah, we do. So what ends up happening, the problem is that we share so much content on Instagram, you guys. It's like, okay, where's the last live that I did? Look at this. I'm scrolling down the profile. I can't even find it. And I do one of these things a day because we post so consistently, right? But they'll always be in the feed, okay? And you could probably most easily, because what happens is after they're done, they get saved as a reel. I would just hit the Art Storefronts profile and go to Reels. What you'll notice usually about the lives is I don't have these fancy thumbnails. So here's one that I did earlier, and you can find them that way. So that's the easiest way to find them. But you guys, we are treating these lives like, this is the Apple Store and we just open the doors, and we literally want you guys to come in and ask any and all questions you have. And it doesn't matter if you're a customer or not. Go ahead, Juan.
$45 for 1,000.
$45 for 1,000 business cards. So you could get 1,000 business cards. Okay, Mr. Paw Portrait Studio, 1,000 business cards, and go put your shoes on right now today and go hit all of the dog parks and light them all up at once. My guess is the ROI from your time from the what is the number again, Juan?
$45.
$45 in some Scotch tape. Okay, let's just say you're $50 into that in your time. All you need to do is book 2 gigs, and you just paid the ROI. The ROI on that activity is just absolutely staggering. And like, look. Some people are going to pull them off and throw them away. The person that looks after the dog park is going to pull them off and throw them away. But some of them are just going to be taken by a customer. Okay. And I would probably put a QR code on them, but you don't necessarily need to do that. Patricia obviously loved that. She goes, love your podcast. That makes me really happy. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And thanks, Nita. for the positive comments. Yeah, I love, like, one of the things that we've noticed is that we've been running sessions like these, internally as a company, basically since COVID, 3 days a week. Now we have 9 of them a week. And what's crazy is that, like, you get a bunch of artists and photographers together in a room, sort of like we're doing virtually, digitally here. Everyone always has the same questions. Everyone always has the same struggles. And there's so much that you can learn from just hearing what your fellow artists and photographers are struggling with, what they're working on, and you get great marketing ideas. So we're going to continue to be running a bunch of these lives. Anytime that you see us, just understand, like, if you've got a question, you guys, about anything, and I don't care if you're a customer or not, ask. Okay. We have 14,000 customers and we get to see all of their data. We're constantly hearing about the sales strategies, the marketing strategies that are working. And look, there's not a whole lot of places where you can go to get this type of information online, especially for artists and photographers. So if you've got questions that you're struggling with, don't hesitate to ask. Leave a comment. Love to deal with them. And that's the ball game. And as a final, for those of you guys that are interested in art storefronts, we have a huge sale that's ending today. We have a demo that's running today. Did you stitch up the Zoom? I always forget to tell you that.
Yep, it's ready.
So if
Yep,
anyone wants to see a demo of what our product looks like, all the plans, all the pricing, all the bells, all the whistles, you can do that. You can just leave a comment on Facebook and or Instagram with the word Zoom, ZOOM, and we'll send you a link to that. Or of course, you can request a demo anywhere, all over our website. And we would love to have you check out what we do as a business at Art Storefronts, how we help artists and photographers, all our bells, all our whistles, our plans. But on that note, you guys, thank you all. Happy Friday. I'm probably going to be doing live a little bit later and can't wait to get your guys' questions. So ask them. If you're on here and you're seeing it and you're watching, you're going to struggle. I want to hear about it. We want to fix it or try and fix it. But thanks, everybody, and have a great Friday. Thanks, Juan.